Welcome back. So, this Fender, very strange Fender. I've never seen one like it. Like I say, one tone, one volume. So I went and asked Ashley what he knew about it. He says, not a lot. He says he just knows it's 1983, that's it. I says, is that it? I says, well, I could have told you that. He says, well, there you go. That's all he knows about it. I went and found out from a serial, being an E3 serial number with 5 digits, it is, all I can find out about it is it's between 82 and 84, it's 1982, 83 or 84 model. And the tremolo, look at that, it is a tremolo. And I've not seen one exactly like that before. And this bit were loose, I've managed to tighten that up, but I thought I'll take the scratch plate off and we'll have a look. And it is pretty much like a Carla system underneath. Again, I've never actually seen a Carla system in real life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it away, the scratch plate, and I'm going to hold the scratch plate there, and you can see how this works. And there you go. And I don't think I can hold it with one hand. But how it works is there's 2 springs, there you go, 2 springs under there, locked onto the back there, and it's held on 2 pivots here with Allen key screws. Imagine they go in pretty deep. That'll be some kind of metal inserts in there. One is a little bit cracked, so I wouldn't have thought that had been too safe. There's a very tight tremolo. There's no padding on the corners at the bottom. Maybe there should be a bit of padding there, but right beneath this part of it we have got the cavity, so we can't support it underneath there. Now Ashley asked me what we could use to support that tremolo underneath, because you had a little bit of felt on the corner there. There's only about that much room on each corner to actually support it. I says, well, I won't bother. What's the point? The paint under that is already a little bit damaged. But you're not gonna, what you're gonna get under there? The best way I can show you is, the only way you can get support is to stick a screwdriver in the hole. You can have a quick peek. And there you go, just some corners there. Can you see? Right underneath in that corner is the only place you can support it, because the rest of it is on the cavity there. Cavity's right on the edge. So you can only really support it on that corner, about 3 or 4 mil, and this corner 3 or 4 mil. I wouldn't bother myself. The paint under there, it's not so much damage, it's where there's a little indentation in there. Maybe we can get a little piece of felt. I don't think it's a floating tremolo. Maybe we could set... No, there's no, you cannot adjust those springs on that tremolo. There's no adjustment, so it's not meant to be a floating tremolo. It's meant to be basically a hardtail with just tremolo or vibrato just going in the down dive bomb position. That is it. I'd say you've looked at on this. Myself, would I go for a tremolo bridge system like this? Absolutely not. It's not muck about. I'm just going to check. This will be a text from Ashley probably. So I'm going to read you what Ashley says, because I've got some thing from him. Right, okay. So Ashley says it buzzes sometimes. Well, that's not because of the padding underneath, with the bridge vibrating against the body. It's a Dan Smith era Fender, right? Okay. When the company was in trouble and tried to make a cost-saving version, which had less routing on the body, so no back or jack routing. I don't believe that for a second. I don't think that was a cost-cutting measure. I think that was just a this is probably a bit of a prototype, and maybe it was released properly, I don't know. Tremolo loaded from the front, no back jack or routing. Also pick guard is only 3 pliers opposed to single. I don't think you're making a lot of saving there. Necks and pickups are still supposed to be good on them. So you get people saying cheap rubbish and others saying good unique Fenders. I think maybe it is a cost-cutting thing. I've heard they're a custom. I don't know, I'll get back to Ashley in a bit. All I could find on these is that they're a custom. Myself, what do I think of it? It's a guitar. It's got Fender on the headstock and it's made in America. What more can you say? But do I like the configuration? No. 1 volume, 1 tone. The tremolo I don't like one bit. The rest of it's alright. Pickups seem okay. I don't see why you'd want this version over a regular Strat. The neck angle adjuster in there is a good thing to have if you need to change the angle of your neck for the action up at the bridge. But no, not mad keen on this, but at the end of the day it's not my guitar. It still is a USA made Fender, and I'm going to crack on with it. There's nothing I can do about tremolo. I will try and get some padding under those corners. I don't know what I'm going to use. I don't know if I've got anything in stock. I might have a little bit of rubber. or a little bit of felt or something, I might just get a little dab of glue in there and we'll just glue something in position. It's not going to harm anything, is it? So anyway, that's it. We've looked under the hood. I'm going to forget all about that part of the guitar now. Now I'm going to concentrate solely on this part of the guitar, and I'm going to take a thin file and I'm going to smooth this down just a little. I'm not going to touch the lacquered bits. I'm just going to smooth these bits here, and I'm going to get ready for the new frets. I'm going to clean the slots out, I'm going to give them a little saw, and I am going to go get some fret wire, and I'm going to do a couple of test pieces in there to see how we are. I would like to get some frets in this tonight if possible. So for now, that is it. I'll be back again soon. So this is pretty interesting. You can totally discard what I said about it's been a 9.5 inch radius, and at first glance, because I expected it to be 9.5, I stuck a 9.5 on there and it looked just about right, so I said yeah, 9.5 radius as I thought. Well, I was totally wrong. And now I've just been and held it up to the light, and I'll tell you what's nowhere near 9.5 radius. You can't see it, but take my word for it, there's a gap just in the middle there. Now, so Ashley, the owner of this guitar, told me it should be 12. It's why his next is sought after. So I stuck a 12 on there. It's definitely closer to a 12 than a 9, though at the edges it rolls off, so it's a little bit flat. So then I put a 10 on it. And a 10, there is light shining in the middle, so it actually sits between 10 and 12. Closer to 12 than a 10. I want it up to the light so I can see. So yeah, it is a much flatter fingerboard than I realised, and it is a 12 radius. I can stick the 12 radius gauge on there, and I doubt you're going to see it because you need light behind it. But it just rolls off on the edges. It fit all the way across the top. It's fine, but when you get to the edges, like I'm just rocking it there. There's a gap on that edge, gap on that. So there's gaps just on the edges slightly. So it is very, very close to a 12 inch radius. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press these frets in with a 10 inch radius caul, and I'll go across with a 12 as well. Once I've done the 10, I'll bang one in, press it with a 10, then press it with a 12, and I'll do it for each one. So what we do is we'll get the edges in, we'll over radius some fret wire, get the edges in, then we'll flatten it out. So we'll go in, press like that, and then as we use our caul, we'll flatten them out like that and like that. That will work. I've done that quite a few times before. So I'm going to prep this neck for frets tonight. I'm going to take a thin file, a 3mm file, probably a bit less than 3mm. I'm just going to file just the top off this. I'm not going to sand anything because I'm not going to be spraying anything. These necks are very, very sought after, so I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to leave all the lacquer intact. It's got a lovely burnt lacquer colour to it. It's really like a dark orange, almost a dark, well, it's a dark tan, but with an orange tint. It's really beautiful. So it'd be a shame to have to sand this off and respray it again, so I don't want to do that. So I'm going to prep this fingerboard now, bearing in mind it is a 12 inch radius, which I never actually knew about. There you go. And this is a neck all prepped, ready for the new frets. We're all taped up, both sides for glue spillage. We taped up more or less the exact width of the frets. I didn't do it in measure and I didn't do it by eye, but what I do is I take the biggest of the frets I've cut, I put it in slot 1 and I tape, or slot 20, 21, whatever it is. But I tape that one, then I move the fret across, tape the next, move it across, tape the next, tape the next, tape the next. So any glue spillage I get will go onto the tape, not onto the lacquered fingerboard. Should make the job a lot easier. I'm going to do these frets all in one go, then I'm going to clamp it overnight. So I'm going to crack on with that, not filming the work, putting the frets in because I want to crack on. It's getting on a bit now. We are at, time is it? It's about 8:40 in the evening, so I'm going to crack on. I'm going to get frets in. I'm not going to come back and show you because I'm going to get all clamped up. I'll show you the results in the morning. Good morning, fret friends. Been a successful night. I did the refret last night before I clocked off, and I clamped the guitar, the frets clamped in overnight, as you do, and there it is. And the frets are in. Absolutely beautiful. Nice job. They're all in. Ooh, what a catch! We're all in nice and tight. There is no loose parts anywhere. They're not springing up anywhere, so they've glued in really well. It will be fun getting all the tape off with all the dry glue on it, but there won't be any glue on the fingerboard. So really pleased with how that has come out. I am going to file the edges, hand file them. shortly. I'm going to get it all clamped up. I will clamp this to a piece of 3cm or 30mm MDF. I've been using this for a while. It's fantastic, fantastic piece of kit. I will basically use the plate and screws off the guitar itself, clamp it to this piece of MDF here, and we'll do all the levelling and beveling and everything on there rather than do it on the jig. It's the way I prefer to do it. On a removable neck makes it a lot easier. Once that's done, once I've done the edging and the beveling, I can set about getting my levelling done. A couple of frets are a little bit higher in there. It's absolutely normal for that to happen. Really pleased with how that's gone. So we are going to get cracking with this very soon. So stay tuned. Back in a bit. Right, you might wonder why I've got the camera pointing at the fret press. Reason being, I slipped with the file when I was beveling frets on this, and I got them all just about beveled, and I slipped with a file and I scooted across these 4 frets, and I put a scratch that deep in these frets. They were not recoverable, so I've got to replace these 4 frets, which I'm going to do right now. And you might as well watch me do it. So let me just shut this door. I've got the frets already cut, prepared, just about cut to size. I'm just going to put some glue in the fret slots. I've got everything taped up. I'm not going to fanny about. I'm going to get straight on with it because I should have been at church right now, and I've had to cancel going to worship group tonight, which I didn't want to do. I mean, I did want to go to worship group, obviously. So I'm just going to get some glue in here. I'm not even going to be tired with it. I'm just going to get some glue in because I can't fanny about with these. Can only get it done, get it clamped up. Because I was just getting, I'm making good progress with this. I was actually ahead of schedule. And because I had to come off the Les Paul I was working on because there's a problem with the nut, I got onto this and I thought, great, because I wasn't supposed to be doing this till tomorrow. I'm just getting to the end of the beveling, I slipped with the file, as you do. I wasn't rushing, so I'm going to blame it on that. But anyway, a bit of glue in there. It's just regular Tybond original. There you go. Blah blah blah. I'll leave it over there out of the way. Leave that there. Get a rag. Clear up any of the residue. I'm using a 10-inch coil. Going in with a 10-inch. Nip the edges in. Then I'm going with a 12-inch radius coil straight after. I'm not going to fanny about, like I say. I'm going to get these frets positioned where they want to be. Just make sure that's fine. Just get the edges in. I will be clamping these in because obviously I'm not going. There's 2 lots of frets in these slots now. I recut the fret slots when I took the old frets out. I'll show you the old frets in a second. I mean, these are more or less just going straight in. Now I'm not going to the old frets. There you go. All down this side here. You can see that. This one again. All down this side. Can you see that? If I'm not too close, should be able to zoom in on that. So these 2. So I did 4 of them. Went across them with a beveling file, absolutely knackered these frets. They were gouges are that deep, I could not have used them, I couldn't have rescued them, so I had to replace them. So that's exactly what I'm doing. So there we go, make sure I've got this all lined up right. Like I said, I'm not going to fanny about, I'm going to go straight in. You can see I've not got the press clamped. I normally have it clamped in. Having a G-clamp behind it, having it clamped to a desk stops it wobbling forward like this, so what I'm going to do is hold the back as a press in. Once the frets all pressed in, take a cloth, wipe away the excess glue. Like I said, I'm not going to stop, I'm going to change the coil, take out the 10, put in a 12, and I'm going to do it in reverse order. Before I press the clamp down, I'm going to hold it at the back, like so, just so I know they're clamped in fine. Next time I'll make sure I'll have this clamped to the bench. And that's it. 4 new frets in. Get a wipe, get rid of the glue. Any glue on the frets doesn't matter. That will come off when I polish them later. Could use some white spray. I'm not going to fanny about, like I say, I'm going to get a clamp straight on there. Job done. So I'll get this clamped up, I'll leave it overnight, and I'll finish off. I'll come back when we're doing the beveling and everything tomorrow. Stay tuned. Good morning, fret friends. Put my new frets in last night with 4 frets I damaged. Had the guitar clamped up overnight. I was up bright and early this morning, and I've already beveled the edges of the frets. These are the 4 new ones here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not to detract from the fact that they are all new. I'm going to show the edging. Now don't worry about this mess at the side with the paper. We'll go into the paper, because what I've done is I've beveled the edges. You'll see the bevels. These are the bevels, and the bevel is where we arc the file and come in and across both sides to give us that beveled edge. Now the guitar's not finished yet because I've done it all with the I've got a special file. Just bear with me a second. There you go. It's got there are 2 files in this block. We have one at 90 degrees here, where we can cut, we can trim the edges of the frets, and then we have one at 35 degrees, which gives us a bevel. Now we always have to be very careful that we don't take any of these into the wood or into the lacquer. This is why I always have them taped up. And once I hit the tape, I know I'm getting close. Now when I'm close, when I start hitting the tape, that's when I get really careful. I stop using the 90 degree one completely. Once I've hit the tape, I go just with the beveled 35 degree one, whichever side I want to do. I take it nice and steady, try not to remove the corners of where the side of the neck meets the fingerboard. Now also what we must do is, once we get to this stage where we're removing the paper, we are actually going to remove the paper, and we're going to finish the rest by hand. Now the problem with something like a Stratocaster neck, or not all of them but a lot of them, and the reason why the other guy didn't take off or smarten up the edges is, if you don't just go straight up when you've got the fingerboard at the edge, this one actually comes over like a boat. You know, so what I'm going to have to do is, I can't do it in 90 degree one, I've got to come with one over. So I'm going to do this completely by hand when I have removed all of the tape. And if you can see, you might just see the angle here where it just comes over, the wood actually comes in that way, and on this side it comes in this way. And so I'm going to do it by hand. You'll see what I'm talking about there. I'm talking about these edges here. You see, I can show you there. They're not absolutely 90 degrees, we actually come in and over. So what I will be doing is, I'll be removing all of the tape, and I will very carefully do all of that work with a hand file. Bear with me a second. There we go. I will do this with a hand file, and again, I need to clean this yet, so don't worry about the mess on it. But this is a, what brand is it? It's a Barco brand. It is Swiss cut number 3. There is a little label on there if you want to zoom in. The only problem with this file is it's not super straight. I wish it was straight. I'm going to go and buy myself a really good number 4 file. A little bit more expensive than this, so they cost about 20-25 quid. But I want a precision straight one, nice 6-inch one like this. But what I will do is, when it comes to, when I've removed the tape, I will be doing this completely by hand. And I'll take it down the side of the fingerboard. Can you see there? Blah, 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 blah. And I'll finish it all by hand. Any finishing I need to do on the edge there with a lacquer or anything, I will start with something like 1000, 1200 or 1500 grit sandpaper, just to smooth it all off and keep it nice. Well, another thing I've noticed with this guitar, I know it was lacquered when it had the bad fret job, but there is not a lot of lacquer on there. It's so easy to scratch off, and we might have a little tiny bit of instances where some has scratched off just a little. What I will be doing is, I will be just adding a little bit of stain on there, and I will brush over just with a tiny bit of thin super glue with a brush, just to replace the lacquer. You're not going to notice it once it's done. So all in all, with the accident, a very good fix on that. It's not really a fix, I've just took 4 frets out, put four new frets in. Now, I don't know if you could see last night, but the 4 frets I removed are these 4. The 3 well, 3 of them were really badly damaged and one of them not so badly damaged. And I'm going to try and get to show you these on camera to show you why I had to replace them. And it was that file I've just shown you. I slipped off with a 35-degree edge coming across, and I just went zoot, and it took out 4 frets. It's not the first time I've done it, probably not going to be the last. You can be as careful as you like, but some of these things happen. I mean, we don't do them on purpose. But here you go. And here are the 4 frets I removed. And if the light's right, you will get, it's all on this end here where the damage is. If the light's right, I'm going to hold it there for a second. I'm going to hold it there for a second. I'm going to hold it there for a second. They're the 4 frets I had to take out and replace last night. I just wanted to show you that on camera. So, I am going to end this part of the video here. I do believe this is part 3. What am I wrong in thinking this is part 3? Could be part 4. I don't know. Whatever part of the video this is now the end, and I will return for the levelling and the crowning in the next part of this video series. I think it will be part 4, but do not quote me on that. I could have gone upstairs and just checked just now, but I'm not going to do. So I will see you in the next part of this video. I should have gone upstairs and checked, because this is the end of part 2 of this video series, not the end of part 3. So come back in part 3. I'll be waiting.